Um, Hello guys, this is Patrick. We recently learned about this weekend's events in Orlando, Florida, and this is a message from us at the Best Ever Mountain Goats podcast of condolences, and we hope that you can find some hope in this time of fear and sadness. I'm gonna quote John Darnielle from one of his performances of the Best Ever Death Metal Band out of Benton. He said, there's this wonderful quote that said, it is important to admit on occasion your joy. It is also important to admit on occasion the righteousness of your fury, the justness of your cause in the face of those who would do you wrong, and who would rob you of your youth, and who ignore what's good and beautiful in you. We hope you can find some solace in these words, and that you can find strength in this time of grief. Best Ever Mountain Goats podcast. We're a couple of friends who met on Facebook. Their names were Adam, Emily, and Joseph, and they podcasted every Tuesday. The Best Ever someday I will get that right, but today is not that day. We are the Best Ever Mountain Goats podcast, and this is our episode on Transmissions of the Horace. Technically, we're breaking the rules. This should be split into two, but we decided to do it in one. We're going to be going through the entire Transmissions to Horace cassette. And, yeah. As usual, I'm going to be asking our podcasters a question. Sometimes Mountain Goats related, sometimes not. And this day, it's not going to be Mountain Goats related, but it's going to be music related. And I'm going to be asking us each, who is your favorite artist right now, other than the Mountain Goats? And we're going to start with Emily.
Oh, jeez.
And throw her on the spot.
I really like Bob Dylan and Phil Oates. It's really a tie, I guess. But, I mean, Mumford & Sons, there's a band you gotta, like, put your money in.
Oh, dear.
Yeah. Have you seen them? They look like real artists.
They truly are. I mean, I've seen them twice now, and the first time they looked like farmers, and the second time they looked like a bad biker gang. So, yeah, real artists.
Yeah, definitely real artists there. You gotta keep your look changing, you know?
Authentic.
Yeah.
I've been listening to quite a lot lately, to be fair. I've been bogged down in exams, so I've just been listening to a bunch of music to keep myself sane, but absolute number one artist of the moment, Mountain Goats or not, Kanye West. Absolutely incredible. Life of Pablo album of the year so far.
Oh, that's so sweet.
It's incredible, dude.
I think
honestly.
the Green Olives man is gonna be furious when he hears this. He will never forgive you, Adam. What will you do?
I think he'd mind. I think Kanye's amazing. I think nothing's going to change my opinion of that man.
Maybe I'll give him a shot.
I'll recommend some tracks.
Okay. For me, I've been listening mostly to the Decemberists, loving their latest album.
Nice.
And Cat Stevens, the guy who made Moonshadow.
I've never actually listened to Cat Stevens.
Oh my god, I'm sending you a link. Moonshadow! Moonshadow.
Nice. I'll keep that in mind. I'll send you some Kanye later.
I will send you a link right now. I will send you Moonshadow right
live
now.
On air. I'll give it a listen after we finish recording.
Yes, live on air. Yep.
I don't like Cat Stevens.
Why not?
Because I don't.
Is he not a cool cat?
He's not a cool cat. He really annoys me, to be honest.
Why? What?
Because,
is it his voice?
No, he just...
You listen to John Darnielle's voice. How can it be the voice?
It's not the voice. I listen to, like, Tom Watts and, like, Leonard Cohen. It's not the voice, because that's not a thing I actually care about. He just annoys me. I don't know why. I've never liked him.
Yeah, that's fair.
So, I don't know.
Anyways, it's a good thing that we're not here to discuss Cat Stevens' music.
Not fair, but
We're here.
I can't change your opinion.
We're here to discuss the mountain
I'm not
goats.
asking. I respect your opinion.
I mean, I respect yours, but I don't respect you because you have it. If that makes sense.
That's fair. Nobody respects me.
I mean, you don't like Matt Smith, so like once you said that, like
Oh no,
we
I
can't
like
be
Matt
friends
Smith.
anymore.
I never
You said-
said I.
You said Matt was a git.
He is sometimes he was after that Craig Ferguson. I lost a bit of respect because he's like, oh, I'm gonna come over here and I'm gonna become an American movie star, blah 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 blah, and like all he's ever amounted to before Doctor Who and after was like small roles on the BBC.
He's a great actor. He's going to make it.
I never said
He
that.
got into Terminator. He got into Terminator.
Anyway,
He had a small
Anyway,
role
dudes.
in the Terminator.
dudes.
And he was a BBC star before, and he'll be a BBC star after. Like, I'm sorry, and he was super arrogant about it. Like,
Dudes, the only Matt we're going to be discussing on the show is Matt Douglas, and that's not for quite some albums time.
But we can't discuss Matt Douglas yet.
No, we can't. But
Yeah.
we'll give him time. We'll give it time. But yeah. Anyway, so today, as we
He's
said,
the member that we didn't know we needed, but once we had him, we didn't know what we were doing without
what
him.
were we doing without him?
uh,
We were making albums like Transmissions to Horace, which is, bold claim, the best of the cassette albums, I'm going to say.
I would tie it with Hot Garden Stomp, but it is quite a...
It pips it for me. I've got to say it actually it blows them all out of the water. I'm quite steadfast in my belief here.
Yeah, it's a fantastic album. Let's. Sorry, I thought I heard something. I'm currently backstage at the theater in that I'm technically not supposed to be in.
oh,
So we're gonna start with Going to Cleveland, or as I like to call it, Standard Bitter Love Song, Part .5. Going to Cleveland.
I can kind of see where you're coming from with that. It is a very bitter song. I mean, it's, in my opinion, absolutely the perfect opening track to this album. I mean, it starts with that noise, which could be tape hiss, I'm not entirely sure, or it could just be rain, but whatever it is, it's a good backing
Just
song.
listen to this. Listen to this.
Both know you're leaving. You just don't want to say it yet. Cause you don't want to hurt my feelings. So you gnaw your little holes in the net and you torture me with those big eyes. You punish me with hate. But I'm going to Cleveland. Say you wanted to strike first. One of us was leaving. That's what you say, but I've always felt real fond of you. So I never would have treated you this way.
This really sounds like the next day she tells him that she doesn't love him anymore, and now we have Standard Bitter Love Song number 1.
I mean, it's a very what's the word? Can't do words at the moment. If it's like the standard going to trope, in my opinion, where like the narrator's wanting to get away from something, and it doesn't necessarily mean that getting away from something is going to change his problem. That's the way I see it.
they're just escaping that problem immediately, and it's just gonna come back to them. Like,
Yeah.
it's a short-term solution to a long-term problem.
Yeah, I mean that's the kind of thing which fits most going to songs, but I mean it's a very bitter song, like you said, and it's almost petty in some
Right.
parts of the narrative. The whole, I've always been real fond of you, so I never would have treated you this way. Well, not so much petty, but really
He sounds a bit like, you know those guys who are like friend zoning, who are like, I was always nice to you, now you're not being nice to me, who think that they deserve, they're owed attraction.
yeah, I can kind of get
Although
that
I wouldn't
interpretation.
categorize this guy as that sort of
No,
scum.
I mean neither. I mean, yeah. I mean, also just the idea of calling John Darnielle a friend zone again is that's a shit post in itself. But yeah, like
I
yeah, it's a good song. It's a great opening track, and I feel more than anything else, it sets the tone for what's to come on this album, which is such to say that is about. What is it about? It's about people,
Yeah.
and it's about people who, well, they got obvious problems in the situations they're in. Usually relationships which are going to shit, and
exactly
yeah,
there's a line and it's, "Hey John, where are you going? But that's not my name anymore.
yeah.
Hey, this relationship is so bad. I'm just gonna change my name."
It's a good song, and it's one of the 3 go-and-to songs on this album. So when we got through all of this, I'm gonna have to ask which one's our favourite. Every time we have more than one song in a series on an album, I'm gonna do that. But
Yeah.
yeah, it's a great opening track. What else is there to say about this one?
So I think we should.
I mean, John said
move to
about
the
this
next
that he
Shall we-
deliberately put that line in there. The whole well, referring to himself as John, he did that specifically to get a rise out of local audiences at the time, because he thought, well, everyone's
Tell
going
us
to jump
about
when I
that.
say that, and it worked, which is
Yeah.
quite comical. I'm going to probably
hang
steal
on.
that idea at some
My
point
thing
in
is being
songwriting, but
slow. My thing is being slow.
yeah, sure.
There we go. Early spring.
Oh, go on, sorry. Yeah, sure. Yeah, the next song of this album then, track 2, Early Spring. And I love this song. I really love this song. Yeah. Well, anyway, Early Spring, it's got such a brilliant opening line to it, and I think it's probably my favourite opening line of the album, or one of them.
Songs just sing aren't as pretty as they once seemed to me, and the coffee's bitter because it's been boiling too long.
That's so evocative, I think. And but what I get from that, the pictures you paint aren't as pretty as they once seemed to me. It's just everything. Well, the narrator's in a relationship with someone, obviously, and he's everything which he used to like about it has lost its charm. The charm he saw in something is now failing to see, failing to appreciate, and the coffee's bitter because it's been boiling too long. The relationship, that is, it's been going on for far too long.
They're really kind of pulling apart, like the bathroom paint is peeling and stuff outside's going on, but like that doesn't matter because, you know, we have our own issues going on right now.
Yeah.
It paints a really nice picture.
There's this Tumblr post that I've seen where she talks about how the most terrifying thing to her is that she's learned that in people who divorce, the things that they hate about each other, that drive them up on the wall, are the same things that made them fall in love with them. The little quirks become annoying habits. The dedication becomes obsession. And that's what I hear in this song. The same things that caused him to fall in love with her are now just ticking him the hell off, and he just
I'd
wants
agree
to
there,
be rid of
absolutely,
her.
yeah. And I mean, the clues in the lyrics, like, I mean, in the first verse anyway, the jokes you tell aren't as funny as they once seemed to me, and the songs you sing are just plain hackneyed. But yeah, it's a very good song, and the chorus I quite like. The stars shine down on all God's children, the sun sets on the good and the evil, and I know you. Like, even...
That's one of the best lines in any Mountain Goat song. The sun goes down on both the good and the evil. And there's this kind of question of which are you.
To be fair, he's not really calling him either of them morality into question. They could be good, they could be evil, but he knows, but he's not telling us.
Well, think about it. Think about it this way. What he's saying is, the sun's setting down on you, but it sets on both the good and the evil. So what do I know about you? And I know you, and I know you. I know which one you are. I know which one you are, whether you want.
There's a lot of songs in this album, which, I mean, well, there's a trap I feel a lot of us fall into when we're looking at Mountain Goat songs about bad relationships then, which is you immediately think of our favourite dysfunctional couple, which is the Alphas. And this one does give me a slight alpha vibe, not as much as some of the others on this album.
I thought the same thing.
I mean, there's a lot of desperate characters in Mountain Goat songs which aren't necessarily alphas, but yeah. What were we saying?
I can see where you're coming from, but the alphas, there's this certain spark of... I don't think that they hated each other for the things they fell in love with each other for. they hated each other for the things that they saw in themselves from the beginning.
They're still very much in love, but
They hated each other in each other's drinking, in each other's short tempers, in each other's lying, and these are all things that they themselves
We're gonna
did.
come up
They hated
on
them from
that
day
in
one.
like 2 songs, or
there's only one alpha song on this album, but yeah,
Yes, I'm so excited.
that's fair.
Such a great song.
One
Oh,
of my
yeah.
favorites.
It's a damn good song. But anyway, before that, should we move on to the next
really
one?
Is. We
But
should.
before that, we need to get to the next
I don't like
one.
that the next song, Historiography, doesn't
Historiography.
actually have anything to do about history.
Well,
Like, that's such a disappointment.
I'm going to disagree with you there because the meaning I get from a title, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, historiography, that's about, it's like the study of writing histories. That's the definition I got from Google anyway. And so he's looking back on the good times in the relationship. It was cold in your room and you were warm, that's all I remember. Your arms were warm, that's all I remember. So he's looking back on the history, he's looking at all of these small, nice little details which meant so much to him. So even though the rest of it may be going to shit, he's got these nice memories, he's looking back at the bits of history which he can still enjoy then, the parts of it which still mean a lot to him, that they're still good. And I mean, all of the things he mentions in that's all I remember part, even though there's a lot of things which is all he remembers, they're all nice memories, really. I mean, the hall was well lit as I walked down it. The rain was light, it felt soft on my face. The car was quiet inside. It was dark, but the sunlight was coming. But you compare that to the verses in which, well, I mean, there was a feeling of approaching doom. I was happy to see you. Even though he's dreading it, he's still remembering all the good times. That's what I get from it anyway, and that's something I can relate a lot to. And yeah, I mean, it's probably the happiest song on this album, if you can call it happy, in an album full of what's generally fairly miserable affairs. What do you think about that?
I really like your interpretation.
I mean, it's bittersweet. It's bittersweet. It makes it clear that these happy memories are far in the past and that they're not coming back. And it also has its sadness in the fact that its happiness is past tense. And he's losing his memories, you know.
There's like
these are the only things he remembers.
memories as well that I can remember.
Yeah.
And that's repeated a number of times through the song. And like any bad thing that had happened just was kind of stuffed down. So.
Yeah.
Denial is a man's best friend sometimes.
Absolutely. So the denial of this comes from that he's choosing only to focus on the memories which make him happy, the fond memories that he can remember of a relationship, rather than the present, which may be less appealing.
Which is something people have a tendency to do. Once you're out of a relationship, you're like, it wasn't that bad. It was nice to have someone to be with and kiss.
Instead of focusing on the bigger picture, which is often not as nice as the smaller details.
Exactly.
I really like Historiography. There's so many songs of this album I really like, and you're going to notice this, because it's the first album I've come to the series which I truly, truly, really, really like.
I agree with that completely. And now let's move to this, the one song on this album that I'm really not fond of, although Emily has said that she's going to be able to convince me otherwise. So I'm going to let her introduce it.
Okay, so we have
introduce
No, I
the song.
Can't. And Patrick, do you have my notes? Because I have a note for you in there. Okay, so I love this song so much. So there's a live.
I didn't see the note.
Go find it. There's a live version that adds in a starfish. And that's one of my favorite live versions of this song.
Yeah.
There's a couple interpretations I have of this song.
Okay.
And the one I was talking about, Patrick, is that the narrator could be depressed, and their significant others coming in with all of these things. Hey, I brought you a light. I brought you a filing cabinet.
I brought you a puppy.
I brought you some chocolate. And with the light, like light, especially in places where it gets really dark, can actually help with depression. So hey, you're feeling pretty down? Have a light. Get some light in this room. So they sit by the sliding glass door. Have these chocolates. Have this sofa. Have some books. Do something. And so says I have everything I need. I've got everything I need. Well,
But it's still
you
tinged
can
with
bring
sadness,
anything.
isn't it? That's what I take it anyway. Like, it's still tinged with sadness. So, I mean, that's one interpretation, and that's a good interpretation. I mean, I can't decide whether I want to see it that way or this alternative way, which is that the relationship is failing and the partner is trying to salvage it by giving him all of these gifts, all of these things, which
That was my other interpretation of this.
that's what always came to mind for me when I read it, and that now I have everything I need is not sarcastic, but like he's just saying it. It's not entirely truthful either.
Like, why would you bring me a filing cabinet? I don't need a filing cabinet. You're gonna bring me roses and chocolates and a lamp? Like,
Why did you bring me a
Where
starfish?
did you
What could
get-
I do with a starfish? God damn it! But yeah, and then I think the main clue to that is
Why do you say it's a song for Peter
it's all
Hughes.
songs for Peter
Yeah.
Hughes.
Oh.
it was re-recorded.
Wait, did that already
It's
come
on.
out? Did that come out?
It's
oh, it was
on
Yeah.
three
re-recorded.
different
There's a lot of
albums.
different versions of this song somewhere. I think there's another one somewhere as well. I've definitely heard at least one other different studio quality. It may have just been a live session, but anyway, I'm gonna say the version, even though I really really like this song, the version on Transmissions to Horace is one of my least favourite versions of this song, because the future version, which is included on Songs of Peter Hughes, which we'll go into more detail when we cover it, that's
When we finally get to that excellent man.
what a man. But yeah, that version is my favourite.
What a
not
man.
including potential live versions, which live he just makes up the list as he goes along, and it's beautiful.
I like it live. I like this song live. I usually skip it on the album.
You're missing out.
So sad. You really are. It's such a good song.
I mean, I quite like how John described it as a bit of a dance number, a bit of a dance song, which is just great. And yeah,
I mean, I feel like this next one is a bit more of a
man.
dance song.
This song.
oh man,
I was cleaning.
Here we
today.
go. Hang on. Oh, it's just that for like 30 seconds.
what a song.
It's called Alpha Desperation March. And it's one of my favorite Alpha songs. It's one of my favorite ones off of this album.
Yeah, it's one of mine.
And it is the most memetic mountain goat song in history. Even more than the Tianchi Lake
Yes,
Monster.
that's true. So, I mean, we're going to blame Emily entirely for this, I think. Well, maybe not entirely, but mostly.
Yeah, it was my
Carter's
fault.
one.
I started this. I started that whole thing.
I'm proud of you.
Yeah.
I started a few memes with this group, but none of them as widespread as that. I think the one I'm proudest of, even though it never took off, was the punching bag meme. I really liked that while that
You did
while that
really
lasted.
good with that. But
Thank
yeah,
you.
this was me.
My favorite thing I did on the group was probably the first thing I did, which was the tag yourself meme.
By
I-
creative
And
I-
Joseph
that
then
Limber.
we developed a name for whenever someone posts something that was posted before, or a joke that was posted before. Carter started calling it classic
And when
Joseph
you
Limber.
posted that the other day, that
well,
was
they got
hilarious.
really
I
miffed
posted
about
the
it.
first tag yourself. I posted the first two images on the board. So
Well done. Although I did
I-
I did the tag yourself as a tag yourself meme, which I
yeah,
mean, bow down.
you.
But yeah,
But this
anyway.
song is so
Oh,
violent.
what-
I wanna talk about this. Like this guy, he's like, let me get my $8,000, dude. Like, you don't want me in your house. You've barricaded yourself into this house. I'm gonna push your door down, even though you have furniture in it. I know you're home because your door is locked. I'm gonna get in anyways. I don't care.
it's damn good, and I feel it escalates as the song goes on. It gets
It
more and
does.
more tense and more violent.
It
Like,
gets more and more crazy.
yeah, I mean, the first one is just a statement of intent.
Have
The
you
first verse,
heard-
he's just saying, "I'm coming in. You can try and stop me." He's outside of the house though, but he's coming in.
Yeah.
In the second
And-
verse, he's got in. He's got stronger. You may have noticed.
Yeah.
He's in the living room.
This
Can't see
head
you,
full of
but
memories
the back door's...
propels him more forward.
I love that line so much. But yeah.
But then comes the best part of it. The
He-
best part of it is, of course, the part that gives it its depth and make it more than just a shitpost is, and
Come out wherever you are, ollie 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 oxen. No?
That's good.
No, I'm perfectly
Where our
aware
love
of where
stands.
our love
The
stands.
plain fact is...
But the plain fact
owe
is
me.
that you
If
owe
it
me
helps
$8
jog your
grand.
memory,
If it helps
I
jog
lent
your
it
memory,
to you
I
one
lent it to
Tuesday
you
when
one
we were
Tuesday
out
while we were
What
drinking.
an end of it. Well, I mean, the last verse in general is brilliant.
Ah!
and then just the laugh.
And then ha ha ha
That just adds to the craziness.
ha ha.
If you put that out,
Ha
it
ha.
wouldn't be as crazy. But this like
Oh, it wouldn't work
escalates like
at
The
all.
Shining. Like you're just watching this man. I'm gonna call
It's
him.
such a
Someone
hollow
needs to
laugh.
cut clips of The Shining to
What?
this song. Somebody needs to cut
Can
clips
we
of
do
The
this?
Shining
We're
to
gonna
this
do
song.
this. This is
We're gonna
gonna be
do
our
this.
project.
I haven't
You
seen
haven't
this
seen The
movie
Shining?
yet, but I've been.
I
meaning
haven't
to
seen it
for some
either. I really need to
I
watch
did
it.
mention I was raised in a Catholic house, and the first time I saw an R-rated movie was like a year ago. I've
Oh my
never seen a
God.
single horror
Man.
movie in
Okay,
my life.
so we're gonna take a quick break. Let me tell you about The Shining. You have this guy, and him.
We pick up on
Don't-
it later. But yeah, I need to
Okay.
watch it. Fine.
Anyways,
Don't spoil it.
No, I want to go back to the Alpha Desperation March.
Uh-huh.
But you
Yes.
just watch him go more and more crazy. Like he looks in the living room and he doesn't see her, and he goes to the back door. He's like, I really need this $8,000, and he can
That's-
really use that $8,000.
That's such a scary moment of a song. I feel in the living room. I don't see where you are, but the back door's locked, so you can't have gone far. Like that's
That's
menacing.
Okay, let's flip it and look
I
at
always
it from
picture him
the
by
other
the
point
end
of view.
looking like
So-
the Joker did in that one famous panel in The Killing Joke, where he's all like this and his hair is in his hands and he's just smiling.
I think I've probably seen it. I can't think of it. The only
Yeah, I don't know.
I'm bad in my comics, but yeah, it's just
Like
madness.
if you flip the perspective, okay? Say you're out drinking with your significant other, you're like, oh yeah, this is really nice. I currently need to pay off blah blah blah, and your boyfriend, because I picture this as like the guy's trying to break in, right? It's like, oh
Yeah.
here, I'm gonna lend you $8 grand. Don't worry about it. And so you're like, oh no, and it's like, oh yeah, because you're drinking, and then it's a week, and you're
He's pissed.
He's pestering you, and he's trying to break into your house, and like you have to push the furniture to the door, and you have to lock your back door, and you have to hide because he's trying to break into your house, and like he's banging on the door and trying to push in and peeking in, and like what a
Here's
terrifying
Johnny.
moment.
No, I mean, one other interesting thing, I think, in terms of the Alpha series as a whole, then, I feel it's got to be near the end of the story arc, right? Because, like, I feel after stealing $8 grand from your partner...
Oh my gosh, it's almost the end. This is when things are coming to a brink. There are only 3 more songs left in their
I'd
life.
agree as well.
We still have all of Tallahassee, though. They haven't even moved to Las Vegas yet. So no, they.
When did they move to Las Vegas?
There's a whole thing. I'll send you a link. Somebody had timelined it up, but no.
Fair. I feel totally clueless at the moment, but yeah, I mean, but no, I always feel like this is part of the Tallahassee. It's near the end somehow, and the only songs which could potentially come after this to me are Alpha Rat's Nest, Oceanographer's Choice, possibly, Alpha Omega, and Alpha Chum Gatherer.
Wait, what about the last one? The final
Alpha
one?
Omega. No, Chum Gatherer, you mean?
No, it wasn't. Not like when it was made, but the last one, like he always said, this is the last we see of them.
Oh, the one where they
And
set
it's the
fire
last
to
one
their
on
house.
Tallahassee.
Yeah,
Yes.
Rat's Nest.
Huh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right at the end of Tallahassee. I mean, we'll come to it. We're going to talk loads about the Alphas when we get to Tallahassee, but
I'm gonna reveal something secretly. I have never listened to it in full, and I'm not super fond of the album. Although I love a lot of songs on it. Desperation.
Even.
Can we cut?
It's not my. I don't dislike it. It's just not my
I
favorite.
guess since we're talking about the Alpha,
I don't hold it in as high regard as everyone else.
probably-
Talking about Alpha,
Fifth
I
or
want to
sixth?
say I love Tallahassee, and because it's set in Florida, I can pick out locations that are being talked about,
Ha,
which
yeah.
is really funny. And then on the cover, it's stuff hanging from a tree, right?
Yeah.
People actually do that in
Oh, neat.
Florida. Yeah,
Fair.
they
What
hang
do they
stuff
do?
from trees.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
But
Interesting.
yeah,
They also don't have basements.
Yeah, no, because if a hurricane or something came or there was flooding, your basement would just flood and it would just be a whole mess. It'd cost so much money.
I thought it was just that like the water level was so darn high that if you even dug for it,
Well,
you'd
that
just find
and
the water.
you're built on sand, especially like on coastal regions. So you would hit sand and then it would just fill. It's pointless. You have to build concrete. You have to build up some. Some people have their house, especially like near the beach, because of hurricanes. You have to build up on stilts. So you'll have like a vestibule, and then you'll have your house will go up, and then you'll have your actual house. So
should we move on to the
We're
next one
getting
while we're here?
far off
'Cause,
topic, but that's really cool.
back to transmissions. The next song of this album is one of my favourites. Actually, well, I mean, there's so many ones on here which I could say are potential favourites. But anyway, this is Going to Monaco, which I'd argue is also potentially a standard bit of love song if we're looking at it in that way. Because, well, it's just really sad. I feel there's so many. There's just so many lines of this which are just heartbreaking. I feel. I know you're the one I used to know something about. I tried to say what it was, but the words won't come out. And you show me your palms. I see they're empty. I check them twice if you'd let me, but you wouldn't do that now, would you? I didn't think so. Showing they can't trust each other anymore. They used to have this close trust to each other, but now they're second guessing everything. And I think
And you asked me to hold you.
that's the devil's work.
But that's
That's-
the devil's work.
that's,
Oh,
I know.
that one gives me tingles.
My absolute favourite line in this song is the whole of the last verse really. We stood. We're repeating. We stand on the sand. I mean, that's great sibilance there. We stand on the sand and we watch the world turn. We stand on the sand. We watch the water burn. We stand on the sand 6 inches from one another as the sands burn and blow, and neither one of us runs for cover. That just hits me because the way I see that, it's like they know all of this is going to hell. They know everything's coming apart around them. Everything is not the same as it was, but like they're not going to do anything about it. They're not working to make this any better, but they're also not running away from each other either. And this is I mean, yeah.
Although
What were you going to say?
they're not quite as they're in their destruction. They're not quite as close as the Alpha Couple, and I will break the rule to make a future reference because there's no way we'll make the reference past. Unlike the Alpha Couple, it's not as if they're holding hands as they fall as they fall into
that's true.
destruction. They just stand there in proximity to each other, like they're too tired to leave each other, but they find no more solace in each other. They find no more joy in each other. Whereas the Alpha Couple, at the end, they hated each other, but they found comfort in each other at the same time.
Yeah, it's not the most alpha-y on this album. I mean, I'm going to come to that song when we come to it, but because there's one on this album which really screams alpha to me. But I'll let you know when we come to that one.
Awesome.
But yeah, as it stands, this is a great song. It's a great breakup song. It's got similar themes, harking back to early spring, I feel, like the fact that they're both the partners in a relationship and it's going to hell, and there's this distrust that it's not the same as it was. And I feel a lot of the songs on the album follow that kind of theme, but them two I feel, I don't know, they remind me of each other in similar themes, but I prefer Going to Monaco. I really, really like this song.
Yeah.
Anything else on that one? No.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay.
I think we're good.
Before we do the
I think
next
we're
song,
good.
I'm going to have to give a quote from John Daniel about this one, which he said, I think, he said he has a live show. It could have been the Bottom of the Hill show where they did it all in full, but anyway, he said that the seeds of Tallahassee are in this song, and it's a story that I like the feeling of almost boiling someone alive. I don't know if anyone deserves that. The question of what anyone deserves is a pretty complex philosophical question. I know the people in this song deserve better than each other, but they're not going to get it. And this song is Stardusting, and it's my favourite on the album. That's a great quote, because this is also the song on this album which reminds me the most of the Alpha Couple, who we brought up a lot here. So I think we're in danger of over-referencing them, but this song really does scream Alpha, in my opinion.
Before we even get into it, I want to say I really like the beginning of the song. Oh, it's the 17th of December, and this is a horror story.
That's brilliant, that introduction.
I could almost... Actually, you could possibly consider Transmissions to Horace to be an Alpha album.
I don't know if I'd go that far, but I think it was like a... not a trial run of them, but it's got similar themes to...
It's a study. It's a study for it.
I don't think it's the same couple running throughout the whole album, but it's a study of the whole failing relationships, and yeah, I get what you're saying.
They show up all over the place.
They really do.
Different traits of them in everything in different songs, and
they've left their mark on this album.
Absolutely, yes. And
although those two,
I've got to say,
that mess of a couple leave a mark everywhere they go.
I've got to say though that the second verse in this song is one of my favourite verses in any Mountain Goat song, probably. I thought I heard bells ringing, but then I remembered that I no longer I can't do English today. I thought I heard bells ringing, but then I remembered that I no longer knew what bells sounded like. I thought maybe we'd strike up a conversation till bad luck cruised by on his 10-speed bike. I got real cold and I grabbed my coat, and I saw the ringing was coming from your throat. What are you saying anyway?
Okay, so, like, you forget, I've always wondered, okay, so you thought you hear bells were ringing, but you don't know what they sound like, and then you turn and you hear these bells coming from the, person you're standing with, from their throat, and you don't know what they're saying, and so, like...
My interpretation of that is the bells is just metaphorical, because, I mean, bells is bright and chiming. They're the things which he fell in love with, the things which are good about the relationship. Except it's got so far down the drain, that they're muddled. He either can't remember them, or it's too obscured by everything else which is getting in the way that he can't recognise them or appreciate them. So then he's thinking of trying to start a conversation, but no, it's not happening. It's not his day. So he gets his coat. He's about to leave, and as he's getting his coat to go, he sees that the ringing's coming from his throat, and that's the moment of realisation that it's what he fell in love with, that there's still maybe some kind of spark of that there. But then, what are you saying anyway? He's still not understanding, he's still not appreciating it. If that makes sense?
Yeah.
Yes.
I love this song, and yeah, I mean, the first verse is good, but that second verse is just damn.
I think
I like the first line. So we were talking about the Alpha Couple and that they go to Las Vegas. So toward the end of our first year in Las Vegas, you looked from your little corner, and I saw your face getting a little brighter. And I'm gonna skip to the end of this verse, and you started mumbling unintelligently. What were you saying, anyways?
It's great. I like the whole setting the scene almost, and saying that it was towards the end of our first year in Las Vegas is really specific in placing it. It tells you how long they've been there. They've been together for like at least a year now, and I don't know. It's just really evocative. You know, it's one of those ones which like it really places you at this moment in their lives, and this is the situation that's happening right here and right now. I have a lot of feelings about this song. Yeah,
this is a good song.
I love it. I love this song. I think, yeah.
Are we ready to move on?
Yeah, sure. This one, Teenage World.
This next one is probably one of my favorites early Mountain Goat
Oh wow,
songs.
really? I like it, sure, but
oh yeah,
it's probably one of the weaker ones of this album, in my opinion. I knew we were going to have at least one controversial opinion.
Ooh.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Oh dear.
No, that's cool. I like the friction here. But yeah, Teenage World. So yeah, go for it.
maybe, full disclosure, I have something called Asperger's. It's like micro-autism. And so there's a line in this that speaks to me a lot, and it's, I'm sick and tired of trying to, where is it? I'm sick and tired of trying to figure out your gestures. I'm sick and tired of wondering what these presidents mean. Like in many of the Mountain Goat songs about bad relationships, there is a lack of communication in this couple. And there's also the theme of trying to ignore their problems through self-destructive habits. I find it be one of the more evocative of the early Mountain Goat songs. It's very descriptive. I'm a sucker for his songs that mention driving on the road, because I think that they give an extra amount of life to them. Because once you mention the road, you already got a sound, you already got a smell, you already got a feel, you already got a position. And just, you've already gotten a general emotion. And he uses it so expertly in all of the songs. But this is one of those ones that I love. Heading out on Highway 1, respecting posted speed limits. Only ever good advice you'll get from John Darnielle about how to drive. He even gives some bad advice in this very song.
That's better than taking your foot off a brake, for Christ's sake.
Well, I mean, you're trying to go in that song, but in this song, you're just driving anyways. He gives some good advice, though, because sour grass can help treat a number of things, but on the flip side, dextrine is
Dexedrine, that's used for it's used to treat narcolepsy and ADHD,
and
apparently.
Upper. You don't just like take it to go, hey, I'm gonna go take some drugs. I'm gonna go take some dextrine. But it can also make your teeth hurt. So if he's like, oh, my teeth hurt. Well, maybe you should just lay off your drugs there for a second, buddy.
I think one of my favourite things about this song is just the fact that he says, the rabbit's going to chew on some sour grass while I wolf down Dexedrine. I mean, wolfing it down, that's... Yeah, that's a big word.
I have a theory about this rabbit. So, the rabbit, a lot of times rabbits kind of represent time, you have time running out.
Like in Alice in Wonderland, for example, the White Rabbit.
There's a Tom Petty song that has a rabbit that represents time. So I think that this rabbit riding shotgun is time, and so he has time riding shotgun, and he's whooping down this dextridine, and he's going into Malibu, and like, dude.
He's going to Malibu, as we'll find out in a later song.
With this rabbit on like borrowed time. So.
Yeah. I mean, the one thing I really don't understand about this song is the title.
Surprised the song isn't called Going to Malibu.
I mean, that's because there is a song, Going to Malibu.
Yeah.
Which is, yeah.
Oh, is there?
There you are, I'll explain it. Going to Malibu is great. I probably prefer to this one, but either way, I don't understand the title, Teenage World. I really... I'm baffled about that. I don't know where that came from. Do you have any theories?
It's because he was wolfing down Dexedrine as a teenager.
Yes, that's probably, I think, yeah. And I mean, yeah. And I'm sure JD said he wasn't happy with the chorus of this one. Which is
weird, because I love the chorus.
The chorus is my favourite part of it. Yeah, definitely.
Interesting.
So it's odd.
Shout out to the 2014 version from the
absolutely.
Bottom of the Hill, which he just kicks out of the park.
I really, really do like that live version, to be fair.
I like the recording of it, actually.
It is a good record.
I love the recording.
I think it's just because I'm not as fond of it as a song as some of the other ones on the album. I kind of overlook it a bit, but yeah, it's good. It's also probably the first song from this album I heard, apart from maybe No I Can't. But yeah, I think yeah.
I like how he says, if this song were to be recorded today, he would have hired a chorus of 50 people to sing Dexedrine.
If this song were recorded today, I would hire a choir of 50.
that fits, to be fair. What a sing-along word, Dexedrine. But yeah. But yeah, I think,
Well, because it's not, he wouldn't just do it Dexedrine, it was da-da-da-da-da, Dexedrine. I'll put a clip from the show in this.
I've got to say though, there's a link, in my opinion, on this album between this song and the next one, in that they're both about doing drugs.
Yeah.
If you'd agree with that. Are we done on Teenage World, by the way, or should we?
I think.
I mean, I think that's a
There
perfect
you are.
segue.
Into Going to Santiago, which is my interpretation of this song. It's about getting high. It's about getting high. The narrator is just woken up in the snow after a blackout night. He's lost the keys to his car. He's not in a really great situation. He's disoriented, and in the first verse, he's focusing on the landscapes. Actually, this reminds me, in a sense, of Running Away with what Freud said back on Tabby 6. It's a different kind of meaning, but it gives me the similar sense of awe, the similar sense of like panoramic thing. And the cassette tapes of this album, I'm just going to give a general thing, it didn't have a set album cover. When he was making the cassettes of this, he'd cut out pictures of mountains from travel magazines and write the Mountain Goats Transmissions to Horace on it, and that was the cover art, which I think is really damn cool. But anyway, so he'd do that, and the idea of this, I mean, it mentions mountains, isn't it? You got the shadow of a mountain. It's just really, really panoramic, lots of the details here. It's all over the place, though. You got crashing sounds of a waterfall, 200 feet tall statue of Jesus. He's 3,000 miles from North California. There's a big shadow of a mountain. The snow underfoot is soft and yielding.
After the first
It's almost like he's hanging out in the shadow of the Western Hills.
Oh, reference, which we'll come to in about a couple of months' time. But yeah,
after the first log,
in about 2
it kind
years
of
at this rate.
switches though, because like you have the snow underfoot and soft yielding, and then like you kind of move to a whole different landscape. Or
yeah, because you got the wild cattle is the main thing, which is different here. Like the birds, I can imagine. Yeah,
medicine to abuse myself with, and a photograph of somebody stapled in my shirt sleeve.
That's the hint, which says that it's. I mean, that's what tells me that it's about the blackout night of drugs. He's got the pocket full of medicine to abuse himself with. I mean,
handfuls of money, which do me no good.
Yeah, maybe he's been on the Dexedrine.
Yeah.
Possibly.
He doesn't have the rabbit though. He has wild cattle and birds.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, this is an okay song. I'm not a huge fan of this. But again, I'd say it's one of the weaker ones on here, if I'm going to be really critical. I do like it. I like it. And the core...
You know what annoys me about this song?
What?
Is the laws. They go on. They just... That's the...
La 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 la.
It would be so much better without that 30 seconds of a line. It'd be such a great song.
I've got to be in the mood for it. Sometimes I'm into it. Sometimes I think, it's going on a bit too much. But
it goes on a bit too much, but sometimes it works.
Again, there's another one with the live versions are probably better. The Bottom of the Hill version of this is fantastic.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. And that's the last Going To song on the album, that is. I'm going to put...
Well, I mean, it's the second to last song.
That's true. But before we go on to the last song, I'm going to pose the question. What's your favourite Going To song on this album? Cleveland, Monaco, or Santiago?
I'd have to say Cleveland. I've always been enraptured by that line about how she's being cruel and how she pities me.
I'd have to say Going to Cleveland.
It's striking.
It's so evocative.
Yeah, well, there you are. As a corollary to that, then, I'm going to say Monaco. Cleveland comes second, but Monaco pips it for me, because there's just some lines in Monaco which just really hit home for me. And I mean, Monaco is fantastic. I mean, they're both fantastic songs, but yeah. Although we're all united in, like in Santiago less, which is a bit of a shame, but yeah. But yeah, since we're coming towards the end of the time, we'll move on to the final song of the album, and a fantastic closer.
The cover, which is...
And
Sail On.
Originally by the Commodores, I believe.
No, Lionel Richie. Was his cover a cover of it?
Oh, right.
No, it's written by Lionel Richie and then performed by the
Oh.
Commodores. But Lionel Richie would also
Right,
have
I
okay.
should just go throw myself into a hole because I did not write that down, and I apologize for my
No
mistake.
worries. No worries.
It's on the wiki,
It was
Emily.
not.
You're
It was
fired.
not on the wiki. So...
Ah, well. No, yeah, no matter.
Sail on.
Oh,
Look,
It's
it
cool
is.
doing.
Look,
It
I
says,
didn't get that far. I had 2 songs left, and I apologize.
It's
We're
cool.
just messing with you. You did
I'll
excellent.
just-
You always do excellent.
But yeah, I mean, this is I'm gonna say it's the best cover the Mountain Goats have done. End of story.
Yes. You beat me to it, but yes.
I mean, yeah, there's not. I mean, I think the only ones which could potentially give it a run for its money are the Sign, which is just by virtue of how iconic it is, and the live version of The Boys Are Back in Town going into ignition.
The
But
advantage
I
of the
think there's
Sign is just how much better the Mountain Goats version is than the than the original version.
The original version is good. The original version it's very, very good, I think, and I like it in a totally different way.
No,
I like.
Yes, it
I like
is.
the Steely Dan
it's
cover. they did.
terrible.
The what
It's
cover,
far
sorry?
better than the I can't remember the name of it, but it might be the Sign. I don't know.
Yeah,
It's
the
Steely Dan.
Sign is great, but
Yeah.
Ceylon is just
it's
such
far
a step
better.
up. Ceylon, it's just so raw. I mean, the lyrics, instead of being framed of this kind of like funky kind of thing, it's just direct, it's blunt, and there's just some fantastic lines in it. I mean, it kind of hits home in some senses. I mean, you come to comfort me, but I don't need your sympathy, and the way you look at me, well, it's condescending.
Oh, this song hurts so
Direct,
much. Yeah.
and I mean, just the chorus part, I gave you my heart, I tried to make you happy, you gave me nothing in return. You know it ain't so hard to say, would you please just go away? The way you sung that, when I listened to this for the first time, it just sounds so good. So I love this song.
It's one of those
It
gut
truly
punchers.
is. And then yeah.
I might like the Gothenburg cover a bit better, but now that I really think about it,
The Gothenburg
But
cover is
no, this
fantastic,
song
to
is
be
just
fair,
amazing.
but no, it's only Ceylon for me, to be honest. I mean, it's fantastic, and he hasn't played it live very much. Like, I mean, to be fair, he doesn't do many covers live nowadays, but like a lot of the songs of this album, actually, I think maybe like all of the songs, the last time he's played any of them was on the 2014 Bottom of the Hill show, where he played the whole tape through. I think that's true for all of them, anyway. But
so
yeah.
so now comes to the question, Emily, do you prefer the John Darnielle version or the Commodore's
I feel like
version?
I've heard the Commodore's version.
Really?
Place it. I
that's
can't
fair.
place it.
It's basically the Richie one.
Yeah,
the Lionel Richie one is almost
Yeah,
identical to it.
I don't listen to Lionel Richie, but I know I've probably heard the Commodore's version because I used to sell a lot of like super funky music. And
Yeah.
it's probably on there.
Yeah.
So I'm just gonna have to say the cover.
That's fair.
by
That's fair.
default. Yeah.
I think I'm.
What about you,
I'm
Adam?
going to go for the Mountain Ghost version. I think I do enjoy the cover one more than you seem to, anyway. But the Mountain Ghost one, it's just fantastic. It's the perfect way to end the album.
For once, we all agree on one thing, but I think we have very much disagreements on our opinion of the original version. It's very difficult to find singing voices more grating than John Darnielle's, and the Commodores has 2 of them.
Wrong! Exclamation mark.
No, I really love John Darnielle's version. He put so much soul into it. He means every single word. And I'm sorry, Lionel Richie, he's good, but he doesn't do this song the credit it deserves.
Yeah, that's,
John Darnielle
I like
does.
the original, but John's version is. I love it. It's a fantastic end, a fantastic cassette, and in my opinion, quite definitely my favourite cassette of that they've done.
We can both agree on that. We can agree on that. So, now it is time for our wrap-up. There is no news on the Mountain Goats, although apparently if you look up at John Darnielle's Tumblr, you can find a picture of infant
That was
John
an old
Darnielle
thing.
eating jam out of
That
a
was
jar.
That's an old one.
It
It's
is
just-
old, but I just
yeah.
discovered it, and
It's
so
still
we can share
fantastic,
it.
to be fair.
It's old, but we can share it.
But yeah, before we finish this
Well,
episode, we're gonna have to ask. We're all gonna rate the album out of what shall we rate it out of? I'm thinking Out of $8,000.
No, yeah, it's how many dollars out of
Are you
8,000?
going to rate this album? Perfect. I mean, I didn't think of that until like just now, but I'm quite proud of her. And also, we're going to say
How
our
much would
favourite
you
track.
pay for this album? Adam?
How much would you pay?
$8,000.
How much would you
How
pay?
much would you pay?
How much would you pay for the loneliness of death
for
to
a
be
night
crushing upon
for
your
a year in
mind?
Las Vegas.
Amazing. So yeah, I'm going to fire this question around. Emily, how much would you pay, and what's your favourite song?
You owe me $8,000 for this album, because this is a pretty hot album.
Fair play.
All
All
8,000.
Above flame.
In
Nice.
full. That's I'm coming for you.
Nice. Okay, what about you? Oh, okay.
Adam?
Okay.
No, it's your turn.
Right, I'm going to say my favourite first of all, and it's going to be Stardusting. I love Stardusting to pieces. And honourable mentions to both Alpha Desperation March and Sail On, and Going to Monaco. I love it. I love them all. But yeah, and I'm going to... It's so hard. I'm not going to give it a quite perfect $8,000 because I'm saving that for one or two albums which truly deserve it. But I'm gonna rate it very, very highly. I mean, it's a fantastic cassette. It's a fantastic album. I'm giving it $75,000.
Nice.
I'm giving it $7,000 out of 8.
Still high.
It's a classic album. But there are a couple that are a good deal.
Yeah, that's fair.
Favorite songs? Favorite song is Teenage World with Alpha Desperation March. So close that it's not even funny.
So close, you can probably hear it beating on your door.
Yeah. Exactly. It's wanting to come in and it's very angry.
You owe it $8,000 and I could use it.
Giving me the crazy
Fun fact,
eyes.
I did not know what Ollie 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 Oxenfree meant until about 2 hours ago when I googled it.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's definitely an American thing.
Is that a thing not said over in England? People don't just yell Ollie 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 Oxenfree?
Nuh-uh.
They yelled in the streets here. They walk down the street, go, hey, come out, Ollie 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 Oxenfree.
No,
Yeah, you do.
we don't.
Yeah, you do. You
In
do. Emily says so. Must be true.
There are 2 circumstances when it's used
Yeah.
in America. One, you're playing hide and seek and you've given up and you say,
See?
Ollie Ollie Oxenfree, you could come out and you've won.
And we
The
yell,
other,
Ollie, Ollie,
and
Ollie,
I didn't
Oxenfree.
mean to do this, is like if you're in the grocery store and you're looking for your mom and you can't find her, so you shout Ollie Ollie Oxenfree. It's kind of like
Just like
Michael
I
Cole.
said, we walk down the street and we shout Ollie Ollie Oxenfree.
It's not a
Although,
common
I'm
thing.
going
It's not like they're Americans always running down the streets just shouting.
I'm going to
Ollie,
disagree
Ollie,
with you.
Ollie.
I'm going to disagree with you. I'm the Brit here, and I'm disagreeing with you. I can think of a third time. The third time you would say it is if you've broken into your lover's house and they owe you $8,000. You could use it, and
That's very common.
yeah.
I mean, that's implied. That's a dictionary version.
Wait,
Oh.
I have a question. So, Patrick, do you go into the market,
Mm-hmm.
get lost, and then shout Ollie 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 Oxenfree? You don't just like walk the market looking for your mother.
No, I don't. Not usually.
That's
But yeah,
horrible.
what an episode, what a cassette. Should we bring it to the close?
I think we're heading
we
to
are.
close.
Are you leading us in?
What have we got next?
What do we got next? We
The
got
extras.
is it the Hound Chronicles next? I think.
I think it is. No, Hot Garden.
Sorry, yeah,
Stuff.
that's what I meant. Sorry, the Hot Garden Stomp. Yeah. Oh no, actually, no, you're wrong.
There
You're
might
wrong.
be an
You're wrong.
EP.
We've got Chili de Arbol next, an EP released beforehand with some brilliant songs.
Which
Chili
one's
de
the song?
Arbol, which has the fantastic Billy the Kid's Dream of the Magic Shoes. It's got alphabetizing. It's got Going to Malibu. Would you believe it?
Oh, I
Yeah,
love those.
that's what
ones.
we got next. Little 5-track EP, similar to Songs of Petonius, but probably better, I'd say. I haven't listened to it in a while, but we're going to revisit that next week. And then after that, it's on to another brilliant cassette,
Well.
The Hot Garden Stomp.
Ah, I cannot wait for that. I've got so much hype for Hot Garden Stuff.